Welcome to Recreating Hacks. In this episode, we will be recreating the addproxy command from Dark Science. Dark Science was a MMO hacking simulator that has been down for a few years. The command works like this. You put addproxy and then an IP and then a port. In Greyhack, we can only add IPs to the map that are SSH. Therefore, all of them are port 22. But we do need to add the password as well. So you use addproxy and addproxy proxy added. So what happened now is if we go into the map, we can see that the IP that we put together with the password and the user as root by default was added. Let's remove it. So it's gone, and let's do it again. Addproxy, and as you can see, we need to restart the map. And as you can see, the IP has been added again. So what you could do then is connect to the proxy with the bounce connection from saved networks. And you can of course add many of the same ones like this. Restart it. Now there are 3 of them. And trying to connect to them, it's going to say, okay, it worked. It connected, bounced 3 times through the same server, which is kind of redundant. But that's how it works. And so that's what we will be recreating in this episode. So let's start with if params.len not equal to. Also, I should mention that the music playing in the background is from Dark Science. I thought it was fitting to put some Dark Science music in this episode where we are recreating a tool from that game. Okay. So it will need 2 parameters. If we look here, we can see that if we just type addproxy, it will need IP and root pass. So therefore the params len has to be 2. And if it's not 2, then we exit. And we type this usage addproxy that. Then what do we do next? I would think we try to find the file. So let's find the map file. Perhaps we should also just do get computer. So if we want to get the computer object on our own system, we can just use get shell host computer, and that then we saved the computer object on our system in this variable called comp. Then we can just do comp whenever we need the computer, and file. Like I mentioned previously, all the methods that are used, they can be found in the manual. So host computer, get shell, it's all in the manual, as well as file and exit and all the good stuff. So we use file, and then we do home dir, I think, plus config and map.conf, like that, I believe. And that is the file, map file, that you can see. Let's close some stuff here. Let's actually close that as well. So in our home folder, it's a config folder, and in there is the map config file. So we want to select that file with map like this, and then we'll do if not map, then we will create the map. And if we also want to set the content for that thing, so let's see here. We'll do map. We want to create it. So that would be computer, right? Comp dot touch. And then the path to the file. Trying to remember how it's done. I think it's done like this. The path to the file and then the name of the file. So what touch does, it creates a new file. So if we don't find map, the file we selected with this line over here, we want to create it. So we use computer, then create, touch, to create, and then where we want to create it, and then the name of it. So hopefully that will create a function here. We'll test it later. Also, we want to we have to select it again, since now that it has been created, we have to look for it again. So first we looked for it, we didn't find it, then we created, then we look for it again. This time we found it because we just created it, and so we need to do map dot set content and put something in it. And what we want to put in it is, as you can see, this is an XML file filled with all the information about the servers. So what we will do is we will remove all the servers like this and open it again, and this time we will see everything that is in a map config file when it is empty. So it's only these two lines. We will just grab these two lines, copy them, and put them in our program. Now the new line is also added, so we have to remove that like this and type -n, which means new line. So that will put it in the correct format into the text file. Then there's a bunch of quotation marks, and we need to put 2 quotation marks like this otherwise, as you can see here, it thinks that this is a string and this is not part of the string, but all of this is supposed to be part of the string. So we'll have to escape the quotation marks by putting them, the 2 of them, next to each other like this. See here, one here. This will tell the program that these quotation quotation marks are actually part of the string. There we go. So now it will put that into the map config if there is no map config, or if the map config is deleted. Okay. Next up, map set content. I think it looks good. So next up, we want to do map dot content XML, and now we're saving the content of the map file. So either what is already in it or what we just put in it. when we made the new app.config file. So we'll take the content, and what will we do next? I think what we will do is we will start making adding in our let's open a let's add a so I just added a IP and all the information associated with it into the config file. So this is what it looks like, and now we want to add all of this information whenever the command is run, together with the new IP and the new password. So first up is the user. We'll do user equals to, and then I'll just grab this. Because why not just put root? If you want to, you could also specify the user, but in the program I made, we just put the root password, as you can see up here as well, root pass. But you could add a third variable or parameter, so it will be IP, user, and password, if you want to make it a bit more complex. But this one only uses the root information. We have the user, then we have IP. See here. And then we want to put params 0 in here, which is the IP. The first parameter we put in is param 0, so we put that in here and save that as IP. Also, as you can see, there is like new line and 4 spaces, like 1, 2, 3, 4, in front of each of these 3. And so one easy way of putting that in there would just be to put line or something, save it as a variable, and then do new line 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, and then we just put line in front of these when we save them, like this. The last one is password, and so we just do line that, and then we'll do take the password, save, and then we want to put the params 1, which has the root pass information in between these, so that it will get saved here. Then I guess we'll want to use yeah, so we also want to check for the last one. So let's take this one and save it as MC. I just because it's map connections, so MC is kind of fitting. And is there anything else here? So we grabbed all the content, and what we want to do then is we want to replace, but I don't know if there might be some other part we want to do first. But the idea is to grab all the content from the file and then do XML dot replace and replace the last line, this line, with new content, and then add the last line at the end. So what this looks like in scripting is MC, what we want to replace, the last line, then this information. It's probably good if we make that into a line, and then at the end plus MC, we add this one back at the end. Okay, so to put this all together, we want to do proxy, which is like the new proxy. All of this information will be saved in a variable called proxy. And so the first, let's do this. So we have 1, 2 spaces after this. And then this, and then there's a new line, as you can see. But since this user information right here already has new line in here in line, we can disregard that and just do user plus IP plus pass, because all the new lines and the spaces in front of them are added in the code above. Yeah, so that's down to pass, and then we'll do 2 spaces, actually a new line as well, right? So new line and 2 spaces, and then this at the end. And then a new line. After this one, we have another new line, and then we have the last line, which is the MC. And I won't be adding that here. Wait, why not? Let's add it here instead. That was stupid. Let's do it here. The MC added to the end, and this is the new added proxy information. And we'll just do replace MC with proxy, and that should add in a new chunk of information on top of this, or at the bottom of this. Okay, now there is one scenario that we have to put into the code as well, and that is if there is nothing here, if there is no proxy in the config file. Let me show you how that looks. Again, we already looked at it, but let's look at it again. Then there is no map connections at the end to replace. Instead, we have this weird little thing. So if the file is empty, then we will do replace MC. No, not replace MC, my bad. Replace space, right? Let's just copy it, space, like that. And we want to replace that with I believe when it's what it's supposed to look like after is this. Like those two are removed and it's just that one there. So that should be, replace this with that, plus proxy, and proxy starts with 2 spaces here, so we also need a new line right here. And I think that's what it's going to look like if the file is empty. And if there are other proxies, then we'll use this one. So let's just do if xml dot index of, so index of just checks if there is if something can be found inside of this. So this has all the content of the XML file, and then we use index of to check if we can find MC. So if this line is found in here, then we'll do something. Otherwise, we will do something else. So if it finds the index of MC, then it replaces MC with proxy. But if it can't find it, that means that it's an empty file, and then we'll replace this with that. Okay, great. Did we miss something here? So we're grabbing the content and we're replacing the content down here with the edited information. And yeah, I think it looks good. So what we'll do next is we will set content. We'll do map dot set content. Also, we need to save the replacement in a variable, so we'll just save it as add. And then we will map set content add. And what we will do then is we will have to check this. So make a variable called check. And if the content is changed successfully, if it's added, then this will be set to 1. So what we can do is we can do if check equals to 1, then exit and add proxy. Whoops. Just print the information, add proxy, proxy added. If it's not 1, then it will skip this exit, and we'll just put another exit down here called add proxy failed, like that. Great. Let's see how many bugs there are in this program. Yeah, it looks good. I don't think I managed to write all that without any bugs, but we'll see. add proxy. So now, as you can see in here, there are no proxies, and we can also look in the map, there are no proxies. And then we'll try to add a proxy, and it says proxy added. We need to restart that. Let's see here, down here. It looks like it worked. It replaced, yeah, it replaced this part with just this arrow symbol, and it put this with the correct amount of spaces even, and it ended with this. Information looks good. We just need to close some stuff in order to run this. And it's added here. And it can be used to gain access to the server. Let's add a few more servers just to test it out. We'll do add. Actually, let's do add proxy. Yeah. The error message is also working fine. I know, I have an idea. Okay, let's do this. So we'll delete the map. And I think it's sometimes bugged. We'll have to do this. Delete it again. Okay, now it's gone. Now there's no file in here at all. And then we'll do add proxy. Let's grab this. Proxy added. Information looks good. Then it works. Perfect. Let's add one more. That was the one we added. Let's add this one. Add proxy. Proxy added. And you can see there's a new one down here. And another 2 proxies. And both of them work. So there you have it. That's how you create the add proxy command from Dark Science, the hacking MMO that is currently not playable at the moment or anymore because it was taken down, unfortunately. But that doesn't stop us from recreating the hacks and playing around with them in this in the Grey Hack sandbox. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.